Hey everybody. Come to you reading from this book. It's The Spirit of Intimacy. Ancient African teachings and the ways of relationships. I feel as though my relationships with people need to get better. So here we go. It's important in any relationship to do ritual in order to keep peace, to ground ourselves, and to create better communication. There are rituals that help couples to reaffirm their purpose, to give their gifts to the community, and to address difficulties in the lives of others so that they are not just wrapped up in their own things. What is ritual? A ritual is a ceremony in which we call in spirit to come and be the driver, the overseer of our activities. The elements of ritual allow us to connect with the self, the community, the natural forces around us. In ritual, we call in spirit to show us obstacles that we cannot see because of our limitations as human beings. Rituals help us to remove blocks standing between us and our true spirit and other spirits. In the village, everybody is addicted to ritual. There, people experience intimacy not just with their parents, but with the rest of the village at all times, simply because of the repeated involvement with ritual. There's such a high from this that most conversations are about the ritual that just ended or about the need for the next one. Maybe that's why we don't have television. And I think right now the rituals they're talking about are your daily rituals, like when you get up, you fix your hair, you shave your face, you wash your face, you put on your clothes, you go to work, you come home. Mothers make meals for their children and their family. You may work out at a certain time. You may walk at a certain time. If you work from home and you're on a call center, you make calls at certain times. You make appointments for people. These are the type of rituals they're referring to. They need to be in. That's why they don't have television. I just started watching TV again, and I don't know. I can't keep watching it. I just feel like I need to do something afterwards. Just sitting down, not doing anything is really boring. I need to build my business, connect with other people, and keep sparking those minds to talk about health and wellness, modeling, building on your skills, how to help your children, how to leave a legacy for them. What legacy are you leaving? A legacy can be your library. A legacy can be the skills that you've obtained, becoming a chef, becoming a seamstress, becoming a construction worker, an electrician. All those things you can pass down to your children and make it worthwhile for them. Back to the book. They need to be constantly involved in ritual because it's like an energy that gives a high that lasts, perhaps 3 or 4 days. And as soon as they start coming down, everybody is concerned. They need the high again. You don't do a ritual just for the sake of doing a ritual. Every ritual must have a very specific purpose, a clearly stated intention. It must have something to resolve. There are personal rituals, community rituals, maintenance rituals, and radical rituals. Radical rituals are done to disassociate someone from a state of profound turmoil or an alienation and reunite him with the spirit. They are done by a community for an individual or individuals. Now, that's a little bit different for me. I think a radical ritual for me used to be scratching. When I was irritated, I'll be out all day working. When I come home, and I swear, as soon as I take off my clothes, I'll be the itchiest person in the world for about 20 to 30 minutes. And then I'll get in the tub, relax, wash my body off, soak up. I gotta improve my bathing ritual too. Start adding those essential oils again. Start adding that colloidal oatmeal, stuff to make your skin all soft and stuff. Just stuff to really enhance the experience that I'm having from destroying and rebuilding, because scratching is destroying the outer surface, and taking a bath, letting the water soak, letting those essential oils soak into your skin is helping rebuild the outer surface. But I can't keep tearing up my skin anyway. That's just one of those things that I have to work on. They are done. They are done by a community for an individual or individuals. It is then necessary to do regular maintenance rituals in order for the effects of the ritual to continue. Take, for instance, a person who is very disconnected from himself, from his spirit. He doesn't need a maintenance ritual. He needs something radical to end that disconnection and bring the spirit back into himself so that he can start to be alive again. So if you're feeling disconnected, you have to make radical changes to your overall being to put you on the frequency that you need to be on. You just can't expect it to happen still being mundane, still being sad, still being disconnected. That won't help you at all. In such a ritual, the community must be there because a person becomes so vulnerable that he needs to be contained, that he needs a contained sacred space held by others who will make sure that he doesn't hurt himself. Like church, community in your house, your family is a community. When you go out, definitely you have a social circle you can talk to. They have support groups and whatnot, but you can create your own community wherever you go. It's your relationships with people. That's why I said I have to build on my relationship with people. My relationships with people have become so disconnected. I've been in my own head thinking about all this stuff, what I should do, what I shouldn't do, what he's trying to tell me to do, what they're trying to tell me to do, what she wants me to do, and I'm not coming to the conclusion of what I want to do. I'm still like lost, trying to figure out what I should do and what I shouldn't do. You can listen to your parents, or you don't have to listen to your parents. You can listen to your friends, or you don't have to listen to your friends. But it's all up to you in the end. Like, you have to make a decision, and I can't stay in limbo at all. It won't work that way. Where was I? And also, the community must be there to welcome him back. Even though a person experiences a radical ritual, if he doesn't have an appropriate welcoming back, his psyche will take it as meaning that he did not do it right. He may have to go back and do it again. The psyche won't know the ritual has been successful without a community there to acknowledge that it is so. Understandable. Like a couple weeks ago, I went back to my parents' house. It was so different being at the house, not being with my man, not being with my daughter's father at the time. I've abstained from sex for a while because I just been so irritated lately with my skin. I haven't been as confident with myself. And that's okay. I'm telling myself that's okay because I know I'm beautiful. I just have to do the things necessary to make myself beautiful. He may still think I'm beautiful, but if I don't feel beautiful, I can't tell you that. I don't know. If I don't feel beautiful, it just won't go right. And most of the time, I'm okay with that. Actually, it's just that it's different. It's really different. It's so different. I know I'm beautiful. I can say that. The psyche won't know the ritual has been successful without the community there to acknowledge that it is so. That's when you're doing your work and you're building these relationships with people, and you have that support group that'll be like, yes, you're doing the right thing. Yes, you're awesome. Keep working at it. Keep being disciplined. Don't forget to make this call. Don't forget to talk to this person. Don't forget to meet up with this person. Don't forget to write this down. Don't forget to read this book. Don't forget to listen to this. All these are good things that you have to keep around you. These are constant motivators for you to keep moving forward every day. Every time you want to move into a ritual, you need to recognize that there's a whole line of ancestors behind you. There's a whole spirit world around you. There's an animal world, the ground world, the trees, and so forth. If you have a way of saying to these forces, come and be with you, come and be with us in such a way. Oh yeah, this is what you have to say to these forces. Come and be with us in such a way that we can feel and do such and such. And then you're already in the ritual. Okay, that was weird. I'm gonna take this damn mask off. I hate wearing a mask, but we have to sometimes. I just wore mine because they told me to wear it in the car. I had to take a lift to work. Booty butt cheeks. I just had a... See, that's what I mean. My thoughts be going everywhere. And I'm not trying to. I mean, I just have to bring it together. And I think our family... Oh, God. My concept of family and community has been distorted, so I'm trying to figure out a balance between what should I accept into my sacred space and what I shouldn't. How do I purge the negatives out of my sacred space? Because it can get confusing and it can become perverted. It can, in my mind. And that's a good thing and a bad thing sometimes. Because you can be the enemy or you can be a friend. Or you can be a lover. And all that stuff changes depending on your spirit and what you know and what daily rituals you do, because I don't know what you do and you don't know what I do until I come to you. And so when I talk to people, I want to be able to tell them my story, offer my services, collaborate with people, travel the world, educate about health and wellness and eczema and how to clear up those diseases that we have. These diseases could be the eczema that I have, psoriasis other people have. I used to have asthma when I was little. I overcame that by working out all the time, doing sports, running track, basketball. I just didn't need my inhaler no more. And I didn't even notice that change in the beginning. It just kind of happened. My eczema is a different thing because the medicines that I was using were actually preventing my body from getting rid of the toxins. Since I put on the medicines topically on top of my skin, my skin became addicted or used to the medicine doing the work that my body was supposed to do in purging toxins or keeping the irritation, my skin from looking irritated. You put on the topical steroids and then the skin becomes lighter, it becomes smoother, and then but that's just a cover up because it only lasts for so long. It's like a time release thing. You'll use the topical steroids and then for about a month or so you'll have clear skin, but as soon as you start running out or you miss your daily rub down, your eczema will flare up in a heartbeat, especially if you're not focused on what you're eating and putting into your body. For me growing up, my family wasn't always on health, but I was. I chose to eat certain things. I didn't choose to eat other things. I remember my mom was making pork chops one day, and I found out that pork chops was bad. And I said, no, I'm not going to eat no pork chops. But you know what? She tempted me. She made pork chops that night. I came home from school, and there was pork chops on the table. Mom looked at me and said, you don't want none? I was like, no. She said, why not? Because I'm trying to stay away from meat. Well, you know, Tiana, that this is this, and I made this, and all this other stuff. Mama done talked me into eating that stuff again. But, hey, I haven't eaten pork chops after that in a very long time. I eat, it sucks because I still eat pork. I eat pizza sometimes, and I'm supposed to stay away from cheese. But you know how hard that is to stay away from freaking cheese, bruh? Cheese is amazing. It goes well with everything. There's this recipe I saw with vegan cheese, but they use cashews, and I'm allergic to cashews. I can't eat that stuff. I might die, really die. So I have to find like alternatives, and that's kind of hard. It's not hard, but it isn't hard. I got money to go invest in my health now. That's why I made my own meal this morning. I'll post that later too. I made pasta with pinto beans, black beans, tomatoes, and mushrooms, and it came out really good. A little bit too extra salty. I started using Himalayan pink salt instead of the regular ionized salt. My daughter like poured a whole bunch of it in there. I had to scoop that out and take it out, but it still ended up being salty, and it's really spicy. Not too salty, but just spicy at the end. And it was kind of salty. I'm gonna make it better when I get home. I realized that if you add like some sweeteners like agave or honey into something salty, it'll unsalten it. It'll make it better, and you won't even taste the difference. You'll taste it, but it won't be like, ooh, this is sweet now. No, it'll just be like, oh, okay, it's not as salty now, which is really good for me. Learning the different things to put in my body. Smoothies, I should have made a smoothie before I left. I just didn't feel like it. So I'll probably make one later when I get home. In my smoothies, I usually put mixed berries, mixed fruit, spinach, spring mix. Ooh, I love kale if I have it. Swiss chard. I started using that stuff. I haven't had it in a while. Broccoli, cucumbers. You can put peppers in there if you want. Peppers in the morning, you can if you got some. Mushrooms are still good in a smoothie. You won't even taste it. It's a smoothie. Everything blends together very well. Agave Juice Plus has these complete shakes. One is Dutch chocolate and the other one is French vanilla. French vanilla is the bomb. Dutch chocolate is good too, but I like Dutch chocolate for my milkshakes, for my milkshakes, because my milkshakes I use almond milk instead of regular milk. I had to switch from that whole milk because that whole milk is called cow puss, bruh. It's like I was listening to Dr. Phil Valentine, Dr. Kaba, Dr. Sabi, and all of them said milk is bad, cheese is bad, all that stuff is pus. Cow's pus. Like, think of like you having a pimple on your nose, or pimple on your face, or pimple on your leg, or when people have fibroids, or they have little bumps on their leg. It's like all those toxins in your body build up. Mucus is building up in your body. When mucus builds up in your body and it becomes hard and stuck together and like balls, it causes you to have these whiteheads, these bumps, all this bad stuff. It's like all these bad stuff like comes together, and it becomes localized in certain areas in your body, and you can't do nothing about it besides try to purge it out of you. But how do you purge something out of you that you don't realize needs to be purged? You'll look at a bump, but you be like, okay, there's a bump on my leg, but not realizing you need to drink a lot more water. Like, I should have brought that gallon of water, but I used it for my pasta. I ain't bringing no water today, and I ain't got. Well, I got some money, but ain't no vending machine here. Ain't nobody in this building. Somebody here. I think somebody here. I don't know. I think there's another officer riding around here. I know there's usually two. Me and what is her name? What's her name? Her name? It's a lady. I usually work with lady security officers anyway, but she's probably driving around in the all-in-one car, probably patrolling the area or something like that. I don't know. I haven't seen her since I got here, but yeah. I was gonna say. Ain't nothing over there, but something made me look over there at that building. It's a really nice apartment complex, nice car apartment complex next to us. I heard the train go by. I haven't rode the train in a while. Shout out to all the mothers out there. You're doing a great job. Try to watch the food that you eat. I was listening to Dr. Phil Valentine this morning. He's talking about food and spirit, and how food affects the spirit, and how when you go to he gave a list of all the different names for GMOs, and man, they done came up with so many names for that stuff. that you wouldn't even probably recognize it, or you'll read it and not realize it still say GMO. It still means the same thing, genetically modified organisms that are just being put in all your food, just because they don't want to spend the money on doing it the natural way. If it is preserved and it lasts longer, that's the only thing that matters to corporate companies most of the time. And that's sickening, really, the amount of care or lack of care that they put into the food that they're giving the community and the people in it, the people in your town. People in your town. So yeah. What else I was gonna say? I'll do another video about my Juice Plus story later, but that was kind of most of it. It's an ongoing Juice Plus story. I'm still a member with them. I just signed on again as a partner. I'm going to do better this time in my business. I haven't been working my business like I was supposed to, and that's my fault, but I'm going to get better this year. This time around, I already feel better at doing my business. I just have to text people. I recently got an influx of followers, friend requests on Facebook, from people that don't know me like that, of course. They may think I'm beautiful, sexy, smart, amazing, a good person to probably know or not just have sex with. I hope not. That'll be weird. I don't want people just thinking of like this. I'm not saying that I don't mind being complimented by people. It's just that when there's not anything else but okay, you're beautiful, or something derogatory sent to me or being thought of as me, I don't know. Me? I hear this lady, but I don't know where it's coming from. I hear these people, but I don't know where it's coming from at all. I don't see nobody. No, there's a guy walking down the street. Now I gotta use the bathroom now. Last thing. It says, usually if you ask one spirit to come, it will not come alone. That's something. Spirit's been coming in a multitude, bruh. It gathers its friends, its relatives, friends of its friends, and so on. And all the spirits will come to you. You don't need a PhD or to suffer pain or contortions in order to attract them. All you really need is the sincerity of your heart and a willing ear. In the West, people tend to standardize everything. So if you describe one ritual, people think it applies to all situations, even though every case is different. People will follow the same formula. In a ritual that doesn't work, a ritual has to be made specific to the people who are involved in it. And if you try to standardize things, you actually take away the spirit of the people and try to force something false into the situation. So when you're doing your rituals, they don't have to consist of a big crowd. It can be a small group of people, 2 or 3 people, 10 people, you and your partner, you and your daughter, you and your son, you and your grandmother, stuff like that, doing things to make you guys feel welcome by each other, feel happy around each other, feel better about yourselves, someone you can confide in, someone you can talk to, someone who can uplift you, tell you like it is, tell you the things you need to work on, all that stuff. Like, really. And you have to keep it up. You can't like do a ritual with somebody and then fall off of your ritual. because that means you and that person are not connected like y'all supposed to be. You're supposed to be dedicated to getting better. How are you going to be dedicated when you don't continue the disciplines you're supposed to do? We think that someone must bring a secret book of ritual recipes so that if we have a toothache, we go to page 129, read page 2, and we'll take care of it. When in fact, we ourselves are page 129 and paragraph 2. So I'm saying, just trust in yourself. Believe in your ability to hear and just say, I know these things exist somewhere in me. I know these things exist somewhere in me. I know these things exist somewhere in me. And this is a memory right here. I remember growing up how one of my grandmothers used to involve us in ritual. She would create situations where we would have to come up with an appropriate ritual. She would never interfere with our creativity. Rituals are a creative process. You're supposed to do whatever you want to, whatever comes to mind that you think feels right for you, you do it in that time, in that space. She would create situations where we would have to come up with appropriate ritual. She would never interfere with our creativity. All she would do was make sure that we were making progress. Make progress. Just like a mother with a baby learning to walk, she would guide us a little, and then when we fail, she would give us encouragement and strengthen us to keep on trying. Your grandmother or your mother, when they helped you walk and you fell down, they just watched you and said, it's okay, try again. I remember with my daughter, when she first started crawling, and well, actually, when my little sister and my little brother were like super babies crawling around on the floor and stuff, I remember that I would put a cup in front of them or a toy in front of them, and I would just be like, come on, get the toy, get the car, get the cup. Get the car, get the toy, you can do it. And they'll smile and they'll try really hard. They'll push out their legs, they'll move their arms, and they'll wiggle around on their stomach. And after a few days or a few weeks or a few days, really about a week of trying, they will get further and further to their goal. It's a constant process, and you have to stay encouraged throughout the process. If you don't know how to uplift yourself, get around somebody who can help you uplift yourself while you're doing it. I remember working out with my sister. She said she wanted to lose a little belly fat. I was like, okay, I mean, I can help you with that. We were sitting down in the playroom. She was laying down next to me, and I was working out. I was doing push-ups and sit-ups, and I said, come on, you got it, you got it, you got it, you got it. And she did it, and she kept doing it, and I'm proud of her. She can even, I think she can still do her splits now. I couldn't do splits at first, but she could. She could do splits all up and down the stairs, all up and down the living room, everywhere. And it just be that. But now we've been working with each other sometimes, and now it's getting better for us. I've been doing my own personal work, and she has too. I'm proud of her. And my baby is 3 now. Like, she is old enough to do a lot of things. And watching her grow has been a great progress. A great time. With any ritual, you start by preparing the sacred space and constructing a shrine. Then call it spirit spirit with an invocation. It has to start with the setting of intention and with a group of committed people who want the greatest good to happen. The people involved in the ritual are the only ones who can determine exactly what elements are needed. Rituals are not alike. They each have their own flavor. It would be best to look at each situation with care, then determine the elements that are needed. The fun comes when everybody adds an ingredient here and there. In this way, a ritual is like a meal. In this way, a ritual is like a meal where everybody brings an ingredient. Some people bring onions, some people bring tomatoes, some people bring lettuce or celery or pepper or chili, and so on. Some people bring onions, some people bring tomatoes, some people bring lettuce or celery or pepper or chili, and so on. After gathering all the elements, then you look and see which ingredients work best. A ritual begins when you define a ritual space. You can delineate a ritual space with ash, leaves, or stones, or sometimes just by building a shrine. We built an altar, and we have a whole bunch of crystals, and I used to love going outside when I go take my walks, bring some flowers home, bring some really cool leaves home, bring some stones home, and set them up on the altar, and that will help bring in that positive energy. Select a space where you can build a shrine and light candles. Take ash, make a circle as big as you think it needs to be. It could be a small circle for two to sit in and communicate for conflict resolution, or a big space. To include many people, the ash can be from any burnt wood, preferably free of nails or any kind of chemical. Because ash is connected to fire, it provides protection. It helps when calling in the spirits and helps people connect. It prevents negative energies from creeping in while you're in ritual. And that's something I definitely want to incorporate. The only ash that I would say I did include was sage. When I burnt that sage and all that stuff turned to ash, I can see where that comes in. It helps cleanse the area and the space. I'm going to sign out now, upload this, and talk to you guys again later. I need to go back inside this building, this boring ass building, charge my phone, and find something to do. Probably keep reading. I need to message some people on Facebook. Oh man. Okay. Got you. That's a message from God. I have to start over. I have to start over my Facebook. I do. I have to restart everything. Okay. Bye-bye.